Is Jay the only one aside from Coach Greg that has the balls to speak the truth? Rather than telling people what they want to hear, you have to tell them what they need to hear. Eddie Hall needs to hear. He has to stop bulking. Coach Greg, and in today's video, Eddie Hall can't learn anything. I'm sorry to break it to you, but Eddie Hall is doomed to fail in his journey to become a bodybuilder. Everyone's been trying to help Eddie Hall, but he simply won't listen. Today's video, Jay Cutler does his best to help Eddie Hall, but it's to no avail. And so I don't know, because he's a world champion strongman, he thinks he can accomplish anything, but he's simply not listening. And so, Eddie, it's your wake-up call. And you're not only going to not compete, you're going to ruin your health. Wake up!
45, 60 seconds rest between each set. From what you're used to.
45 to 50 minutes.
And so Jay is trying to get Eddie to rest only 45 to 60 seconds between sets. And I know it worked for Jay, but you can't expect a guy who's rested for 5 or 10 minutes between sets, a guy who's 375 pounds with not the best kind of cardio, to perform at this level. You have to compromise. And so although it worked for Jay, I simply don't think that this is the best kind of training for Eddie Hall.
I'm here to learn.
You have the beef straps in there.
Jay says use straps, I'm using straps.
And so Jay suggests, hey, you should use straps for the lifts because you don't want your grip to fail. You don't want to get too much of a pump. And so Eddie's response, yes, if Jay says to use straps, I'm using the straps. And so why don't you listen to him when he tells you not to bulk up? You're 375 pounds, you've already gained 25, and you're en route to 400? You're already obese. That's right. Sorry to break it to you. Am I the only one that can speak the truth? You start listening to everyone, you tell everyone, hey, I'm bulking up to 400 pounds. Yeah, sure, good, smart idea. Really? You need to diet now. You think it's healthy? 375 pounds. You spoke about Jay being the GOAT. He's been out of bodybuilding for 15 years. But yet, look at the guy. He's healthy. Imagine what you're going to look like when you're his age, if you even make it to his age. It is not a smart move to bulk up to 400 pounds. I can think of one bodybuilder who did that. Greg Kovacs. Rest in peace. He's no longer with us. And so if you want to be healthy, you want to keep bodybuilding, bulking to 400 pounds, it's a stupid, that's right, stupid idea. And so as I'm watching these two train together, all I can think of is Chris Bumstead when he made that video saying, please don't record me, don't watch and stare as I lift because it makes me uncomfortable. Yet these two are training together and of course the entire gym are staring and checking them out. It's normal when you're this famous, every time you go to the gym, you have to expect the entire gym is going to watch what you're doing.
So because I was a little wider waisted, the lats had to really flare out. So I really focused on like the pull down movements.
And so Jay's explaining, you know, I had a wider waist, so I had to focus on this and that, make sure my waist didn't look so wide. Look at Jay's waist in comparison to Eddie Hall. Eddie's Hall's literally twice as big as Jay's. How is Eddie going to get his waist size down if he continues to be on a perpetual bulk? Eddie Hall is a freaking bulk. He needs to start cutting and cutting harder than last time.
Because remember, people search, they really try for that X frame, right? So they want to be tapered in the center, legs bow out. I mean, that's what bodybuilding is, right?
And so bodybuilding, it's about getting an X-frame. It's not about getting to 400 pounds, bragging about how big you are, and then thinking you're going to cut 150 pounds, get down to classic physique, as you spoke with Chris Bumstead.
When I come down, I get a stretch, so the lat actually stretches, so it'll be kind of a pull to the front and down, so you just got to make sure you stand high enough. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
And so in doing the one-arm row, a tip for you, do it as Jay Cutler is describing. Reach forward, allow the arm to extend forward and pull back towards the waist. Eddie Hall, in comparison, is going straight up and straight down. You want to allow the weight to come forward, get a stretch of the lats, and pull behind. And so compare Jay Cutler's form to Eddie Hall. Can see, Jay, he's much more experienced, knows exactly what he's doing. And so one of the disadvantages of going above 30% body fat when you're a bodybuilder is your cardio begins to suffer. You can't go from set to set keeping your energy. You can't go and keep your energy with only 45 to 60 seconds rest between sets. But if you stop your bulk at say 20% body fat at most in your off season, you're going to be a lot healthier. Now listen, if you want to improve your cardio, I strongly suggest you pick up GO2 Max, the main ingredient, NMN, been shown in countless research studies. That's right, human research studies, double-blind, placebo control, that's right, it's not the placebo effect, that it actually works. So effective that the FDA has recently called NMN a drug and banning it from being sold on Amazon starting on March 13th. Please go to the website. We still have it for sale. Click the link in the description. Code Greg, 10% off. It's going to allow you to become a better butter burner, burn more calories, be in better shape, and make it easier to go through your workout.
I'm going to put on another 25 pounds before we get to cut, so it's going to get harder before it gets easier.
It's all about the condition, man.
Jay finally saying what I've been saying. You cannot continue to bulk. Jay says it's all about the conditioning. Eddie, I'm going to bulk up another 25 pounds. Is Jay the only one aside from Coach Greg that has the balls to speak the truth? Rather than telling people what they want to hear, you have to tell them what they need to hear. Eddie Hall needs to hear he has to stop bulking. He's never going to get the conditioning if he's on a bulk right now. Do you know how hard it's going to be once you try to lose 100 pounds of fat and then have to still diet? Imagine. And I'm not the only one. I checked the comments. I'm like, are people on Coach Greg's side? Jay's face was priceless when Eddie said he's going to bulk up another 25 pounds. Eddie, you can easily drop 100 pounds of fat and still not look anywhere near lean. And so people think they're being nice. I'm just going to be the nice guy. I'm going to tell them what they want. You're bulking? Great. That's such a smart idea. Rather than saying, hey, that is not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. Not only is it not going to help you bodybuilding, it's not good for your health. It could probably lead to an early death. People don't want to say that. Great idea. And they smile, walk away, and then in private they're thinking, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Why can't people just be honest? To say what they're actually thinking. Coach Greg is the bad guy. He's telling Eddie Hall not to bulk. Yeah, am I the only one that cares about him enough to actually speak the truth? Jay looked dumbfounded. It was obvious to see. Eddie, already obese, putting on another 25 pounds? Okay, also, straight up after he said it's all about the conditioning, basically to say it's all about how lean you are. It's not about how to do a lat, pull down, seated row, whether or not you have a strap on or not. It's not about that. It's about how lean can you get? Can you follow a diet? And if you're bulking to over 30% body fat and think you can just do a cut and get shredded, you're not going to do it.
How long would a workout take you?
45 minutes.
Really? So I'm training for about 2.5 hours at the minute.
Listen, it's not a contest of who can train the longest. It's bodybuilding. Whoever has the most muscle with symmetry and conditioning is going to win the show. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Rock knows it doesn't matter. Whether or not you're in the gym 2 or 8 hours a day, it's who looks the best on stage. And so Eddie's used to strongman training. He's exceptionally strong. But what he lacks is the discipline to eat a low-calorie diet. That is what's going to quite literally separate the men from the boys. Eddie Hall, once he cuts the calories low, he's going to give up. There is no way I believe that Eddie Hall is going to be able to stick to a diet. Maybe, just maybe, if he followed my training, my coaching, ate from my cookbook, it would be the only possible chance. But if he thinks he's going to suddenly start eating chicken, broccoli, and rice on 2,500 calories a day for months on end, it's not going to happen. And as he does his lat pull downs, does it look like a guy that needs to bulk up? I mean, I don't need to explain it. Perhaps he thinks he's only 25%. Visually, look at him working his back. Does that look like a competitive bodybuilder to you? Does not. Looks like a guy who's ready to compete in a strongman competition. If you were competing in strongman powerlifting, maybe, say, perfect, keep going, you got this. But for a competitive bodybuilder to get this far out of shape in the offseason, it is not going to end well.
The thing that matters, strongman, is how much weight you can move. That's it.
So now your mind has to shift to the pump is determined how good my workout is.
It's all about the mind-muscle connection with proper time under tension, getting enough volume in with the proper intensity. Eddie should not be training in the gym for over 2 hours. It makes no sense. We have to compromise. 45-minute workouts for Eddie, that is too short. But Eddie could compromise somewhere between 2 hours, 2.5, and 45 minutes, perhaps 75 to 90-minute workouts. Compromise. When you customize a training program, you take everything into consideration. When I do customized training programs, I find out what is that person used to training. If they're used to resting 5 minutes between sets, I'm not suddenly going to say, you need to rest 1 minute between sets. And to the opposite extent, if they're only resting 30 seconds, I'm not going to say, hey, you've got to start resting 3 and 4 minutes. You take a compromise. You learn about how is that person training, how are they eating, and you take into account what should they be doing, and you make a balanced approach as to what they'll be able to do. It's not about having the perfect program. It's about doing the one that they'll like and enjoy and make the most benefits from.
Obviously, the food patterns has to be like the consistent eating every 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah.
And so Jay is saying you have to eat 5 or 6 meals a day every 2.5 to 3 hours. Eddie Hall saying I ate 10 pancakes with syrup for breakfast. It's not going to work. This is not strongman. The diet is paramount, arguably more important than the training. What good is the best training in the world if you don't have the conditioning, the definition that comes from a long and healthy diet? And in bodybuilding, you don't actually need to eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. 5 times a day, that is seen as being optimal according to the research. You have 5 opportunities for muscle protein synthesis to occur. And so in a run of a day, if you're eating 5 meals with protein, that's enough. Coupled with eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, getting a healthy combination of macro and micronutrients, that's all you need.
I'm going to go one. The next the last set, we're going to go the full thing at maybe.
Well, yeah, okay.
I still want you to focus on the repetitions.
To build muscle, you don't have to lift ultra heavy weights. A moderately heavy weight for 10 to 15 reps under control, much safer, going to stimulate more muscle to grow. That is the goal. If your goal is for maximum strength, strongman, and powerlifting, of course, lower the repetitions, increase the weight. But for bodybuilding, you want to maintain a lower body fat percentage, make sure you avoid injuries, and when it comes to dieting for the show, you can then increase cardio. You should be doing cardio year round. Try to lift as heavy as possible, but still maintain form and maintain the same amount of repetitions as you did in the off season.
It's been an honour for me, mate, as well. Like, really humbling and very blessed to say to have one of the great, someone I looked up to as a kid, having trained me and put me through the motions. The new next, I might be the next Jay Cutler.
And so one thing I've noticed is Eddie, he likes to joke around. He says, hey, I might be the next Jay Cutler. Hey, move over, C-bum. It's E-bum. Really? You gotta at least step on the stage once before you can say you're a bodybuilder. And as it stands, I don't think you're gonna do it. Sorry, telling you the truth. Perhaps you watch this video and it's a wake-up call. It's time to stop bulking. You can listen to me. I'm not going to BS you. Other people are going to tell you what you want to hear. Being a bodybuilder means you're going to be shredded. You have the six-pack, the X-frame, as Jay describes. And so please, stop bulking. Not only for your bodybuilding, but also for your health. It's doing you absolutely no benefit to get any bigger. What you want to do is get within striking distance once you begin your diet. And to me, striking distance means at most 20% body fat. Much prefer you to get to 15% body fat and then start dieting. Anyone who starts a diet at 20% body fat for bodybuilding, it's going to be 4 to 5 months minimum of a diet. That is a long haul to be in a calorie deficit. And so why not clean up the diet now? Start slowly losing weight. Should be easy. Rather than eating 10 pancakes with syrup for breakfast, you have some of my protein pancakes with low-calorie syrup. Perhaps the anabolic French toast, the cookbook, it's full of low-calorie recipes. You won't even feel like you're dieting. And so imagine, instead of bulking up to 400, you bulk down to 350. And so you would have 50 less pounds of fat to lose once it comes time to dieting. And you'll feel just as full. You'll have the same muscle, feel better, have better blood work, and so how could you possibly lose? Please, pick up the freaking cookbook, start using it. Anyone else watching this, if you're a big eater, you can't lose weight, click the freaking link in the description, pick up my anabolic cookbook. Also, you don't know how to diet, my life's work is in the Circle Diet book. It might take 6 hours to read. I was a school teacher, made it super easy to understand. You read it, you apply the information right away. And of course, all the supplements, GO2 Max, Turk Builder, the list goes on and on. I can't list them all. Absolutely unbelievable supplements, the quality beyond amazing. Click the link in the description. Code Greg 10% off, and if you can't afford anything, I have a free training and diet plan over 50 pages. Enter your first and last name, email address on the website. Bammo, you got the free plan. And so what are you waiting for? What is your excuse? Start getting in shape today. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm, like the video if you liked it. Like it right now. Take the time to like the video. Watch the bloops. Follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IB Pro. And of course, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. Everything you want. Click the link in the description. And until next time, I am out.